We earn money, save money, and buy things. Living beyond the economic cycle is impossible. What trends are dictated by world markets and how does it affect consumers? Watch it in People and Economy.
Their emergence has changed the life of people forever. They waken us in the morning with a cheerful melody, remind about their scheduled tasks, show new headlines at breakfast, and entertain with newest musical hits while we're driving a car. Nowadays, it is impossible to imagine the modern world without smartphones. Annually, more and more new and updated models come to the market, and hundreds of people queue up in order to become owners of a cherished gadget. Crowds of people line up from the night until the next day and make up pre-orders. This is the characteristics of a new trend which is called gadget mania. People take interest in this market because it is fashionable and can even be of benefit to us. Tablet computers are a consolidation of school textbooks, toys and books. Many schools around the world gradually abandon common books and replace them with electronic data storage devices. In the meantime, the number of tablet computers and netbooks for children on the market is growing from year to year. International experts have calculated that children aged between 5 and 15 spend more than 6 hours a day with smartphones, tablet computers, and other devices like these. Boys like gadgets more than girls. Manufacturers take this tendency into account and market a great many of children's gadgets. In Kazakhstan, the basic price of such items varies between $14 and $180. First of all, the price depends on functions, materials and brand. For example, it can be a world's leading brand or little-known Chinese or Korean brand. According to IDC market research firm, last year the market of smartphones in Kazakhstan reached almost $630 million. The country imported about 240,000 tablet computers. Last year, the market of smartphones in Kazakhstan decreased by almost 15% and made up $626 million. IDC analysts forecast that this year, the market can drop by another 35% and reach $406 million. Since recently, people in Kazakhstan save on expensive smartphones. Sellers say about the growing popularity of medium-priced gadgets. In total, 665,000 mobile devices were sold. It depends on your demands. There are low-cost gadgets with all essential characteristics. They can cost, for example, 60,000 tenge. Branded gadgets are much more expensive because you, first of all, deal with some well-known brand. Humor plus a gadget plus a good team. It all started from short funny video clips and their publishing in the internet. More and more participants and subscribers were joining a website launched by a group of 4 Kazakhstani guys. Currently, this is one of the most popular projects in social networks. Now its authors have even more subscribers than some celebrities. We commented on all our video clips. As a result, the number of our subscribers was rapidly growing. Officially, we started our project on April the 9th. So within half a year, the number of our subscribers increased to 1.5 million. Popularity in social networks is not only a great number of subscribers, but a real opportunity to earn money. Thus, Viners tell about companies and services and act as brand ambassadors. When you have a certain audience, you can always raise money. For instance, these people can publish something on your website and be a sort of brand ambassadors. There is also a personal advertising. We divide advertisements on Uframe into 2 types. The first one is when we turn to advantage some product. The second one when we shoot some scene when somebody drinks some water or uses a phone. The majority of Kazakhstani Viners shoot video on smartphones and also use them for assembling clips. Nowadays, modern gadgets and numerous applications allow to make video materials of quite high quality, Rasul says.
Гаджет в нашем деле это сам смартфон, то есть он нам невероятно...
Smartphone is our key gadget. It helps us very much. With its help, we can edit sound and make different photos. Moreover, modern smartphones have almost the same performance capacities as digital cameras. The internet, due to its various cloud services, file exchange functions and so on, also facilitates our work.
Различных облачных сервисов, то есть обмен файлами гораздо легче стал.
People of Kazakhstan have recommended themselves as advanced gadget users. There are a lot of mobile applications which have been developed in the country. They help to make online purchases, watch the news, as well as learn the state language. Notably, the majority of apps in Kazakhstan are free. The Europeans themselves spend on new toys about 5% of their family budget. Such a penetration of smartphones into people's lives has positive and at the same time negative effects. Gadget mania is one of them. In Europe, it affected tens of millions of people.
При зависимости
Dependence on gadgets leads to social exclusion. Working time intermixes with personal time. People become completely isolated and lose contacts with loved ones. For example, if we are talking about a married couple, they have no live contacts between themselves and their children. They are completely isolated from the outside world.
живого контакта с родными, с детьми.
However, not the Germans, but Spaniards are considered the main gadget addicts in the region. Almost 65% of mobile users in Spain have smartphones. In the UK, their proportion reaches only 61%. And it is worthy of note that only 16% of them have two smartphones. According to the statistics, one adult citizen of the United Kingdom spends with gadgets more than 8 hours per day. Soon this time can increase because local educational institutions in the country are being intensively equipped with various electronic devices. Only on purchasing of interactive whiteboards, tablet computers and other gadgets, local schools annually spend more than $450 million. 89% of people in China have mobile phones. 72% of them are smartphones. 36% use two gadgets at a time. Residents of China spend on devices like these 4.5% of their annual income, and in most cases choose gadgets with a wide range of applications. At the end of the first quarter of this year, 105 million smartphones came to the Chinese market. Currently, China accounts for 33% of global sales. Moreover, local producers are snapping at heels of such international manufacturers as South Korea and the US.
Ну, в первую очередь, это, конечно же, ценовая политика.
The main reason, of course, is the price policy. Nowadays, Chinese brands are taking leading positions. Another reason is technical characteristics. For instance, we can afford buying a smartphone for 60,000 tenge with a good camera, LTE function and 2 SIM cards. In addition, you will get a case and screen protector as a gift.
Такой кейс и пленочка. Ну, это...
People in Japan spend on various gadgets a little over 1.5% of their yearly income. In fact, they do not leave hold of their smartphones. According to international researchers, almost 80% of owners never go outsides without their devices, and 85% use email services on their smartphones every day. Japan is a country of absolute gadget addicts. There are a lot of them, especially among young people. A great many of technical devices in the country have become an integral part of people's life. They are ready to manufacture gadgets and spend money on them. So I think that the third wave of gadget mania will come to us from Japan. In South Korea, it has become a real problem to find a person without a smartphone in a pocket. More than 80% of local residents have gadgets. 16% of users have 2 or more phones. Because of that, since recently the authorities of the country take care about safety of gadget addicts. Like in Germany, streets in large cities are equipped with special traffic lights and road markings. Such measures were taken due to the growing number number of gadget-related accidents. Indeed, 17% of local pedestrians look into their smartphones while crossing the street. 65% of Americans have at least one smartphone. An adult American spends almost 5 hours in front of gadget screens, calculated sociologists. Among children and teenagers, this rate is even higher. 80% of them look into their smartphones each hour, and more than 70% consider it necessary to answer text messages as soon as possible. At the same time, the Americans spend on the renewal of their gadgets more than $11 billion. 40% of them prefer gadgets from a largest US manufacturer. Another 35% choose other brands. As soon as within 4 years, 70% of the world population will be using smartphones, forecast international analysts. The number of internet-connected devices throughout the world will reach 26 billion. Only last year, almost 1.5 billion smartphones were sold in different countries. This is 10% more than in 2014. Crisis also has an effect on that. In times of crisis, people try to alleviate stress and want more entertainments. So gadgets fulfill this psychological function, and people are ready to pay big money for that. So-called wearable gadgets are becoming as popular as smartphones. The experts of IDC company have calculated that international transfers of such devices will make up almost 102 billion by the end of this year. This is 29% more in comparison with the last year, and by 2020, the sales of such devices are expected to exceed 200 million. For the most part, those include smartwatches and smart bracelets. Each year we observe a galloping emergence of new gadgets. Now we live in the epoch of devices for our cell phones. From time to time something new is invented and systematized. So people live in a very interesting reality where making any forecasts is very difficult. Analysts believe that this year sales of smartwatches will reach almost 42 million and by 2020 will exceed 110 million. Sales of smart bracelets are expected to reach more than 51 million and within 4 years more than 60 million. Each year, new models of smartphones come to the market. So should we keep up with fashion and spend much money on the most up-to-date models? Experts recognized long time ago that a lot of ordinary devices differ fundamentally from flagship models. In order to become an owner of a gadget and at the same time avoid debts and depleting your assets, it is recommended to buy a second-hand model. Indeed, there are a lot of almost new phones which are cheaper at least by 25%. It is also possible to save your money while waiting for some time. For example, there is no need to run to the shop just after some model goes on sales. It can be done a couple of months later when the price of the gadget will go down. This is just the same thing when we buy household appliances. First of all, we should decide what functions we really need. There can be a smartphone with 1 or 2 SIM cards, front-facing or common camera, LTE function and so on. Everything depends on your needs. To those who want to buy a smartphone, experts recommend to pay attention to the screen, battery life and camera. For those who like to take pictures, it is advisable to buy models with an 8 or more megapixel resolution. Charging your smartphone with the help of a flower pot. Spanish engineers have developed a vessel which generates electricity by means of photosynthesis. This device is capable of charging several gadgets within 24 hours. It costs almost 90 euros. Its sales are expected to begin late this year.